how do you weigh it? Raw or cooked? Since the dawn of man, since man first looked up to the sky and witnessed the heavenly bodies move across like Earth's arc, he said, should I weigh my food raw or wet? And that's what the ladies ask a lot as well. Raw or wet? Well, we're all cooked, so this is kind of one of the things that for years, trying to leave information on this was very fucking hard. I scaled internet forums for a long period of time, and even at that, you would never really sort of get true information. People suggest all sorts, so let's make it really simple. I find out probably the most simplest way to explain this, and I think it's going to help. Hopefully, anyway. So, when it comes to tracking, when you put it into your little app, so when you're tracking it, you know, it asks rice, is it raw or cooked, and what way do you weigh it? There's one concerning factor out of all this. The one concerning equation that you should be applying to this is water, okay? Every time you weigh something, you need to try to weigh it when it has the least amount of water in it, okay? Because water fucks everything up. Fucks everything up. So, let's go to, really simple, your grains. Rice and oats. How would you weigh those? You would weigh those in the phase of it not being cooked, okay? So you weigh those just raw. Nothing on them. Why? Because you add water to these things. And after they're cooked, they start to expand, they retain various different amounts of water, and when you weigh it, it's going to fuck up the calculations. So, let's take a fine example, a cup of raw rice, okay? So, let's go with whatever this comes out as. So, this cup of rice here, before cooked, 130 grams, that's what it is, 130 grams. So, let's now weigh 130 grams, put it out of, let's get a container here, 30 grams of cooked rice. It's going to come out very different. Now, we don't know in cooked rice exactly the quantity of water. We don't know how much water was in this and how much water you put to it, so it's very difficult. So let's weigh out 130 grams here. Okay, there you go. There's actually, that's more. There we go. Okay, there's 130 grams of rice. Now I guarantee when that cup of rice I put in, when I cook that, I get about 300 grams out of that. So that really fucks your tracking when it comes up to it. Oats are the exact same thing. You should be weighing these before they're cooked because they'll retain very much water. Okay, that's the grains. What about potatoes? Potatoes would be, you would actually weigh those after they're cooked because while you cook them, they lose various amounts of moisture. Again, a stage when it has least water, so it's most accurate. Proteins and meats. So, a big wet slab of fucking chicken. What way do you do that? You would weigh that cooked. The reason for that is because each chunk of chicken, they weigh various different amounts of, they retain various different amounts of water, which fucks the scales up. The best thing for that is to actually weigh that after it's cooked when it loses the water. Same thing with red meats, exactly the same thing for most meats actually. So your proteins, weigh them after they're cooked, good for a meal. Fruit, like cups of fruit and stuff people do. Cups are various different diameters, depends how much you can squeeze in there. I would again just weigh the fruit. Weigh it as it is in grams. The important thing to remember is when you weigh in water, 7 ounces of water for example, doesn't actually weigh 7 ounces. It could be different. 7 ounces of water is very different to 7 ounces of weight. Again, that's why we try to take water out of the equation. Oils for example, teaspoon, or just actually measure the milliliters. The best thumbnail. I hope that helped. I hope that was helpful. For any more information, you can visit us on theoxden.com or you can contact me for various programs or just help. I love to help. Anyway, this is Carl Gibson signing off from The Ox Den.